Hello, welcome back. My name is Aladino, and together with my wife Maya, we are rebuilding a Cape George Cutter 36. We are working on getting the mast up as soon as possible, but first there is one large item that we have to install to make that happen. So the bowsprit is repaired, the bowsprit is varnished. So the first step was getting the bowsprit onto the boat and dry fitting it. Now it is about 10 feet long and 6 feet stick over the bow. So it's hard to find the balancing point, and yeah, it's almost like one would have to stand on the bowsprit all the time not to have it go overboard again. And that is why I made that 2x4 structure. It was a little wobbly and hard to really maneuver, but it did help a lot. Okay, another stressful yet exciting task on the horizon. I recently had to drill a bunch of holes through the hull. That was to install the chain plates, and now I'm going to drill a couple of holes through the deck. Not my favorite task, drilling through all this hard work, encapsulating everything. But yeah, that's why I'll have to put in some necessary precautions to have things last. So one thing that I like doing with our plywood deck specifically, but that also is the case for a more modern boat with foam core decks, you would want to over drill the holes first, fill them with epoxy, and then re-drill after the epoxy has cured. And that is to leave an epoxy ring on the perimeter, which adds some compressive strength, but also that seals up the end grain of plywood or foam core. In that way, even if things are not sealed ideally and things leak, the leak is just going to go through instead of going into the material and damaging your decks. So we have dry fitted the bowsprit in place, drilled through the holes, those are in place now. And one of the pieces of the puzzle that I did just now are two backing plates. These will go underneath onto the kink plank from inside the chain locker. So now that these are made, we're actually very close to putting the bowsprit in. Maybe we'll go knock next door, see if Barry has a moment, Sailor Barry, to give us a hand, because the bowsprit is quite heavy. And also, I want to show you something over here that is also related. Let's walk over to the mast, shall we? Mm-hmm. So behind me, you can see the 54-foot stick. These are the spreaders that I dug out of storage, and these are a thing of beauty. So these are going on soon, and one thing that I did off camera was to pull in all new wires. High quality Anchor wire. Anchor is the brand. They just have the best rating, temperature rating. It's all tint copper, so this is good for many years to come now. So I put in a wire for the running lights, then there is one for there will be an anchor light and nav lights, like a tree-colored one at the mast top. I put in a coaxial cable, which will be for the VHF for one, but then one day we'll combine it with a splitter, so it also will double as an AIS and VHF antenna. And then the last wire goes to the spreaders, and that is for deck lights. So this coming week I'll work on actually making the connections, putting the spreader lights onto the spreaders, making like crimping and soldering and having everything in place. This was just the very first step, and very soon we're gonna visit a very experienced rigger. He's gonna help us set us up with our roller furlers, so stay tuned for that. I'm very excited to share that with you all. It's time to commit. Now I've got all the things I need here on deck. Sikaflex. This is the chain plate for the cutter stay, which will go at the stem. And this beautiful piece is something a patron machined for us. Thanks a lot, Ellen. This will basically be how we through bolt the bowsprit. So this is what holds our bowsprit in place, but it also accepts our windlass on top with these 4 outer bolts. And it is wider than the bowsprit, so we can always remove the windlass, or it doesn't also go through the bowsprit. And then there is a pipe, of course, for the chain. It's time to go find a helping hand. So Barry has offered to help, so let's see where he's at. I found him. Here is Barry.
How's it going?
Yeah, he's a shipwright, mostly with wooden boats. We got the same passion, just with different materials.
Yep, kindred spirits.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I recommend check out Barry's channel, Sailor Barry. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little crustier than this show, but I like it.
Very entertaining. So bowsprit task. Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, thanks for lending a hand.
Oh, my pleasure.
The idea is to put Sikaflex on the surface. Mm-hmm. So it'd be nice if I remove one of those 2x4s, we can tilt the nose of the bowsprit down so that as we slide it back when the Sika is there, it doesn't just slide it aft.
Yep.
We don't have a lot to tilt the bowsprit, but just to give it like a 1/4 inch clearance or 1/2 inch.
Make less of a mess.
Yeah, and then drop it down when we're in place.
Sounds good. I trust you.
So I think, you think it's gonna work?
Yeah, I believe in you.
Or you see any hiccups in my plan?
Hoping it tips down enough to not make a huge mess, but
totally.
Otherwise it should be good.
Yeah. So would you take over on the ladder part?
You got it. Yep.
And I'll squeeze around the messy stuff?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Been there, done that. Back to it.
Nice.
And probably a little further this way. At least I got something to hang on to if I fall. Perfect.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah?
Post my arm right here. Yeah. Just pay it out towards, how many feet are you going?
Yeah, like that much.
Like that much?
Yeah.
So, yeah, my hand would be to here. So like that's still really good. Again, bonus support, so that'd be great.
So, ready for me to remove the supports?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, supported.
Like that.
Yeah, I can try.
And should I screw it down? Yeah, just
flip it down and see what.
Sure, have a look how much.
Flip it and see. Do you think that's the clearance you want?
Well,
if that's the case,
I can't see it.
Yeah, if it is the case, then that would be super awesome.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, let me put one in here, otherwise this one slides right off.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, Sikaflex time.
Okay. Check the varnish at all costs.
There's 10 layers, should be good.
Of course there's 10 layers.
Are we ready?
Ready when you are.
So,
here, let me support.
Insert it again. And as low as possible on your end now.
Okay, low.
Perfect.
Okay, hold there.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna reposition. Okay, go for it.
Okay, wait a sec, I'm gonna reposition too. Shall we keep going?
Yep.
Okay. We're there.
We're there?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want me to keep it down over here?
So press up. Yeah, exactly.
Up?
Or like, can you tilt the 2x4 again, and then we should be in the location. Yes. All right. That was it. That was it. Now I can do the rest.
Perfect.
Thanks, Barry.
My pleasure.
Awesome. So now I'll go down below in the chain locker, apply a little bit of Seacon to the backing plates, slide them on, put on nuts and add a bit of torque.
By the way, I don't think we've really shown yet the effect of the prisms.
Ooh.
Now that we're out of our little tent enclosure, you can actually see the light coming in.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice. I mean, we do have a light on right now, but
and they're waterproof.
they are waterproof. So far, everything has been waterproof. With the rain, we've had no leaks.
Okay. I'll have to go up on deck now that I have tightened the bolts from down here, clean up the excess Sikaflex that squeezed out, remove the tape, and then we'll let it cure. Bowsprit is on. Very, very exciting. This feels like the end of a big chapter. But of course, there's more chapters to follow. There's going to be a platform on it so that we can walk out safely, and then a push bit, and then hardware like anchor rollers and chain and anchors. So yeah, not quite done yet, but it's back on. And although it might make sense to end this week's episode here, there is just a couple more tasks that I want to show you guys as well. And one untouched area here that I really have to catch up with is the head, the toilet. So we have received our composting toilet. We're going with the air head. Now it's about placing it. It's nice to have solid ground under your feet, even when you're sitting. So since the hull disappears, I have to raise the floor. So I just did that. And I actually made this little floor quite a bit larger than is necessary for only the toilet. Otherwise it is kind of weird if you're sitting and your feet don't touch the ground. But one item that I've incorporated that I quite like is the little structural wall that helps hold the floor is recessed inside, as you can see in these shots. And that is so that as I am inside of this space, which will also be where we think we will be showering when the weather is really not allowing cockpit showers or a dip in the ocean. But yeah, having this little wall not be right on the edge means that I can walk around more freely in here. Even though the priority is putting the mast up and those bigger items, of course we will need some kind of a head, so it's good that this is coming along as well.
And yeah, if you guys have been following from the beginning, you know the massive indecision we've had over the design of the head. We have gone through so many different ideas. Initially, we sort of knocked out the wall that separates the head from that little hallway leading up to the V-berth. And it was so nice when we knocked that out. We had this big space that we thought, why not just make a really big head and leave this wall out permanently? But then, you know, we thought about, okay, well, we have guests on board, and then there's like not really any privacy from the V-berth and all of these issues. And in the end, we're basically going back to more or less the same design that was there before, but obviously with all new components and a little bit of a nicer aesthetic look to it. but functionally it will work much the same. There's going to be a shower space, there will be a nice big countertop with a sink in it, and eventually there's going to be some cabinets towards the back of that countertop, but I don't think that's going to happen before the launch. That's definitely not priority number one at the moment. So for now, probably just cabinetry kind of under the countertop, and we'll keep working on it, of course, as always.
You can see I've sanded everything from this line down, because this will be the shower pan. And now I'm working on this face frame, and once I have glued it in place, I will have the fiberglass extend onto it. Same over here after putting this on for good. So here you see the pieces of plywood that I put together, and there will be a big cutout. Also, this is the back side, so once we flip it over, this will go into the opening, and this is how we will access the storage with little sliding doors in here. And this actually comes from the galley. It was in the galley before, and now we're going to recycle it because the galley has changed.
It's not a top priority task, it's more a thing that I do every now and then when it's rainy outside to continue on the big priorities. But yeah, it's good to see it come along as well.
So for now, I think this episode is coming to a close. Next week we have a big episode with a bit of a new topic on it again. It's a topic that, although it's probably not strictly a priority, it's something that's really been on Aladino's mind for a long time, and something that is going to be really, really nice to have one before the launch of the boat. So we're gonna spend a bit of time with that. It'll be a nice aesthetic thing, but I'll keep the suspense so for next week so you can see what we're working on. So as always, we'll see you next Friday, but before I go, I want to send a very big thank you to these folks who really go above and beyond to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced, and a really, really big thank you to everybody watching. Yeah, we wouldn't be here doing this if it weren't for you guys following along and watching, so we're so grateful for that, and it's just super cool that we get to share our story with you every single week. A really big thank you to our patrons. Again, this wouldn't be happening without their support, and in exchange for all the support and excitement and just encouragement that they give us every single week, we do also post real-time behind-the-scenes updates on Patreon. They are exclusive to Patreon, never published anywhere else. So if you're interested in those and you want to help the channel stay ad-free and all of those good things, then you can sign up to be a patron for as little as $2 a month, and that really goes a long way. So huge thank you, everyone. See you next Friday for a new project. Bye.